Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your drone to get the best footage possible. I already went out into the field and I took some shots which I recorded, and I'll break down the camera settings that I use and what I do to ensure that I get a really good image that makes my client happy.
Hello guys, Dwayne here. So we're outside the Imperial Valley Mall and I wanted to hop on here really quick to show you guys how to get the best footage out of your drone. Okay, it doesn't matter what drone you have, I'm going to show you how to effectively get great footage. Today we're going to be shooting on the Mavic 3 Cine Pro, and I'll take it up, I'll go over everything that I do in order to ensure that I have a really good image so that the client is satisfied. Okay, number one, you want to make sure that you have an ND filter. Okay, the ND filter helps you control light without going too high on your shutter speed or your aperture. So I have a ND filter from Polar Pro, and you can adjust up and down the brightness or the darkness of it. Some ND filters are specifically set, so you have your ND8, ND16, ND32. I like the one where you can go from 2 stops to 5 stops, okay? First of all, I'm gonna turn on the drone. Once I have the drone up in the air and I know where I'm trying to shoot, I want to try to avoid shooting directly into the sun. So the sun is gonna be my main key light. So I want to shoot facing that way. Jesus Christ, this is hard. Okay. So once I have the drone up in the air, I have my composition set. I'm gonna want to use a white balance card, and I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, and their drone footage just does not have that clean look to it. Okay, so I'll set my exposure. I got the drone up there because I don't want the noise of the propellers in the shot, so I'll bring it down. So the sun is in this direction and I'm going to be filming in that direction, so I want my light source to hit my white balance card, so I'm going to face this direction. Then once I have all my values in, I'm going to set my shutter speed. Right now I'm shooting at 50 frames per second, so I want my shutter speed to be at 100, and I'm going to lock that in at 100. And then my aperture, I'm going to set that on auto because the light changes and I want to ensure that I keep the correct exposure. Okay, my shutter speed is at 400, the lowest, so that I don't have much noise in the image. Then I'm also shooting in ProRes D-Log, so I can have the most dynamic range out of the drone. Okay, so I'm gonna face my white card up. I'm gonna record a shot of my white card, my gray card, so my white balance is set perfectly, so in post I can correct any of those discrepancies. Okay, so I record both of them, and that way I can use the white one to set my white balance, and the gray one is mostly used to set your exposure levels, but we don't have to set the exposure levels. The drone is going to take care of that for us. Okay, so I'm going to set up my exposure to 400. I have my aperture at auto, so it's 6.3 right now, and my shutter speed is double my frame rate, so you can see that in the setting. Okay, and then I'm gonna have my white balance. I'm gonna hit it into auto, then I'm gonna take it off so it's set so there's no color shifts, and then I'm shooting in D-Log. Okay, I have the microphone, baby. Okay, so here we are in the parking lot, and I'm just going to take a shot. Just a simple shot, pushing forward. Also, you want to make sure when you're shooting on the Mavic to make sure you're in normal mode, so that way you have your obstacle avoidance on. I've shot without my obstacle avoidance and it was a bad time. It was not fun. I crashed into a building. Yeah. Okay. Get some rising shots. And you'll really see the dynamic range between the separation between your highlights and your shadows when shooting in D-Log. We're just getting some really nice aerial shots of the mall. We'll do some panning shots. And you'll truly see the full potential of your drone. Because you might have a nice drone, but if you don't know how to color it or to maximize the depth range, then you're not maximizing your drone capabilities. Let's get some more shots. Flying out. And you want to avoid shooting directly into the sun because that affects your image. So if you can shoot closer to sunset, that'll maximize the quality of your image because the sunlight is super harsh. Keep an eye on the drone, okay, baby? The drone, babe. It's behind that palm tree. Okay. You see it? I'll bring it back. Oh, there's a manned aircraft. Scared the hell out of me. But I'm coming back. Some beautiful, beautiful shots here at the mall. You always want to pay attention to your surroundings and make sure that you have a visual observer so you don't get into trouble. Pay attention to power lines and whatnot. But the DJI system is really, really good with their obstacle avoidance. And there we are on the ground. We'll start ascending. Thank you. And that's what your safety observer is for. They let you know when obstacles are coming. Shout out to Leah, my safety observer. Wave. Yay. Okay. And then I'm going to take you guys into post when I'm editing, and I'll show you what I do in order to ensure I get the highest quality, best looking image, okay?
Okay, so we're going to open up Final Cut Pro. There we go. And once Final Cut Pro is open, I already created the library for this. I'm going to import the video. There we go. And I'm going to import it into Final Cut. Once I import it into Final Cut, I'm going to create a project. We'll name this Mavic 3 color grade. Okay. Then we have, I shot it in 5K, but I'm going to set up my video format as 1080p, 19 by 20, 23 frames per second. Okay. Hit OK. So now my project is started. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is drag down my first clip of me holding my white card so I can get my white balance. Then I'm going to select all my clips. I'm going to go to the info right here, and then I'm going to add my LUT. I like to use the Leaning LUT Pro S-Log3 from Mavic 3. That's not it. It'll be this one, Mavic 3 Pro. We'll change that to Rec 709. Okay. Once that comes through, I like to use a plugin called Color Finale. So I'll drag that onto my clip like that. Then I'll go to my inspector, and I will get my white balance. Boom, like that. And then I will hit Command 7 to bring up my scopes. And I will stretch my exposure. I'll open up my layers panel. I'll bring down my shadows. I'll bring up my highlights to right about there. And then once I do that, I will create an adjustment layer. Go up here, and these I've already downloaded, so I'll download an adjustment layer, put it up there, come over to my effects panel, go up to all. I'm going to type in custom. I'm going to drag custom LUT. I'm going to drag custom LUT onto that adjustment layer. And I'm going to go up to my inspector. And I'm going to go down to LUTs. LUT quickies, balanced. That's going to stretch that out like that. Okay, so once I have that set up, what I'll do is I'll go back to my library and I'll start dragging the clips down. Like that. I'll click on the first clip, I'll hit Command C, and then I will highlight all the other clips. I'll hit Shift, Command V, and then I will copy the Color Finale Pro onto the other clips, like that. Then I will go over and I'll look. So, as you can see, right here, I have some highlights above the 100 mark. So what I'll do is, I'll bring that down, like so. Right there, looks good. I'll do that to each clip that I want. Like so. And same thing goes for here. And down to right about there. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'll drag over that adjustment layer that has the custom LUT on it for the balance from Leeming LUT. And you'll notice that that makes the images a little bit darker. So what I'll do right now is I'll hit B and I'll start cutting the adjustment layer. There. 1, 2, 3. So the adjustment layer is cut. I'll hit A to go back to my pointer. I'll add another custom LUT into this one. I could have just added this first and then cut it, so this is not really time friendly. But for here, what I'll do is I'll add another LUT, quickies, balanced, brighter. Get rid of those two. Just drag this one over, like so. Now we can cut it again. That's good to go. Hit A. Okay, so now we have a good starting point. And what I've noticed is that after you add the balanced LUT and the brighter one, your shadows are still a little bit dark. So what I do is I'll open back up my Color Finale. Then I'll go to layers and I'll add a curves adjustment layer. I'll put a point right in the center right here, and then I'll go down to this quadrant right here. I'll put another point right there, and then I'll lift it up, and the only thing I'm affecting is my shadows. So I'm bringing those shadows up, and it's not affecting the highlights or the midtones because I put this little dot right here, and I'll set it to where I think looks good. So this is my first YouTube with a screen record, and I didn't realize how difficult it would be to see the screen with that light beaming into my face, but whatever, we push on. So again, I'll put a dot there and I'll drag my shadows up like that. boom. And the same thing to the last clip. Add another curves. Boom, boom. Drag it up, bring in my shadows. And then from right here, if it's still a little too dark, what I can do is I can just bring up my midtones. So in the edit layers, I can go back to the color wheel and I can just drag my midtones up like that or down to add more brightness or darkness to the image. And in all actuality, I can't see what it looks like because that light is so bright in my face. Maybe I'll have to put the light on this side moving forward, but it's that simple. So you want to ensure that you get a shot of your white card, so that way you can set your white balance correctly and you won't have any issues with tint or white balance. And then once you do that, you'll go into the info page and you will add your LUT conversion because I'm shooting in D-Log. And then after that, I'll adjust my shadows, my highlights. I'll add a balanced LUT. And then once I'm done with that, I'll adjust my shadows to bring it up, because once you add these gleaming LUTs, it usually makes your image a little bit dark. So I hope this helped, and I hope you guys learned something, but this is the final product that you get. You get really nice looking images. Yes, professional grade images that any client will be happy with. And when I first bought the Mavic 3, I was very, very disappointed. I thought, oh my goodness, I just spent $5,000 on this drone and the images look like trash. But with a lot of research and a lot of reading, I was able to master it. And now you will be able to master your drone shots. Even if you don't have the Mavic 3, if you follow the rule of setting your white balance and taking a recording of that white balance and then setting it all up in post, you too can have amazing looking footage like this. Thanks for tuning in, and I will be back shortly with another video that's going to help you guys level up your video making skills. Thank you.